Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. Shout out to the Galactic Family, the GCVs, Drew Nation, and I think that's it. I think I remembered everybody. Let's get right into this video. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you know how to read the energy on an entity as soon as you see it. You know how to read people's energy. They say you can't judge a book by its cover. That means just because of what you see from a person doesn't mean it's wise to judge them based off of, well, who you think they are, just because of what you see. Now, let's dive into that. Deep dive into that. People use that to manipulate in a lot of ways. Oh, you can't judge me. You can't judge a book by its cover. If someone's energy warrants you thinking they behave a certain way, and that's what the vibes you're picking up, I would trust it. And definitely I would trust it. But they tell you not to judge a book by its cover. They tell you not to judge people based off of appearances, off of what they see, off of a haircut. And that makes sense. All right, you shouldn't judge someone based off of their hair. You shouldn't judge someone based off of how they look. Shouldn't judge someone based off of how they dress. It's all about the attitude, the energy, the vibe a person gives off, and the behavior for myself. Energy does not lie. It doesn't. Energy doesn't lie. And one of the things you have to understand is when you pick up a vibe from someone, that is a fraction of their true self that is energetically being displayed to you. You could look at the way somebody is moving. You could tell by the way somebody is operating their physical body. The way you can tell who a person is by their walk, body language, and things like that. So based off judging a person based off their looks is not a wise idea. All right. But if books could talk, which they can't in some instances, all right, we've all had a book talk to us in one form or another via an ancestor. Like sometimes when you read, your ancestors will point things out to you, or will talk to you, or God will want you to see a specific thing. You'll get a inclination to turn to this page or this chapter or this verse, especially if it's a book like the Bible. But this will happen with other books as well. So back to what we're talking about. We're just hitting all kinds of angles and points over here on this channel. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Judging a book by its cover. All right. They say not to do that. See the way one looks. Just because they dress a certain way, you may think, oh, that person's a thug or something. Got their pants, a little lower than they should be. They got on a certain type of sneaker, a Jordan, a Air Force, oh, they're a thug. That person could be the most kindest, gentlest person you've ever known, despite their face tattoo or despite, their background or what they, people can change their life around, And I use that because that's just the example that people want to beat up on. People like to use certain styles and certain images to portray a certain specific person or style of person. So now when you see this person, you automatically assume what? The worst. That's judging a book by its cover. Basing your idea of this person off of what they look like, how they dress, how they wear their style of hair, And now you're assuming what could possibly be the worst. How come there are no positive stereotypes for everybody? Like people would see a person in a suit who would look a certain way and assume the best. They wouldn't assume that he's a crook. Yo, real spill. They would not assume that a person in a suit is a crook. How many thieves and crooks and bamboozlers and hoodwinkers you want to talk about the hood? What about the hoodwinked? All right. How many crooks have you seen in suits? People who are supposedly for the people, hand on their chest, hand on the Bible, all that. And I mean that is wild to be the type of person that would put their hand on. We ain't even gonna get into that. That's for a whole nother video. But for someone to be in a suit, and this is why they wear suits, because they know that people what judge books by their cover. They know people judge you based off of how you dress and how you look and your appearance. That's why they're always clean cut. That's why they're always driving a nice vehicle. That's why they're always wearing a suit, suited and booted. But people also assume that if a certain person has a certain type of car, then they do illegal activities. But this is why it's best to wear a suit, because people don't assume those kinds of things about you. All right. And I'm just going to leave that where that's at. Anyway, um, people who dress a certain way don't get accused of certain things. But this is why you being able to read the energy of an entity need to be able to look out for certain facial cues. You need to be able to look out for certain stares that come from certain individuals, certain glares that come from certain individuals. All right, you need to be able to pay attention to the energy that you're receiving from certain entities. Someone is telling you all these good, wonderful things, and so caught up on trying to get you to believe something about them. That person could possibly be a snake. If this person's energy is trying to move real fast, if this person's energy is trying to get you to believe something about them immediately before you've even taken the time to get to know this person, that might be a red flag. That might be something you need to peep the energy of. A person you need to peep the energy of. Don't just base your judgment off of someone based off of how they appear to be or the energy they're trying to portray. People can try to give a certain energy, and they could try to portray themselves a certain way, but energy doesn't lie. All right. Energy cannot be faked. All right. And energy cannot be faked. One thing you can't fake is energy. And people who are readers of energy, people who can tell, people who can sense the vibes of others are able to pick up on this. Someone may think, and you'll see it in movies all the time. Someone will be like, "Hey man, so and so's all right. Well, why you feel this way about so and so? There's nothing wrong with so and so." And then further in the movie, you'll see that this person will eventually end up killing the person that said there was nothing wrong with them, and the person that was warning them the whole entire time will be usually leaning over this person crying like, "Why?" You know? So you really have to be careful of the people you're dealing with, and you have to be aware of their energy, everybody's energy. All right. Walk down, you wouldn't walk down a alley and automatically see a dark figure and be like, "Hey, that's okay." You'd peep the energy. You would feel like, "Whoa, something's not right here. I should go the other way. This doesn't feel safe." And it's the same thing with other people. When you pick up vibes on others that don't feel safe, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, this doesn't feel safe." You wouldn't keep walking down the alley and be like, "You know what? Hey, this doesn't feel safe, but I'm just, you know what? Let me not judge this person. this dark figure down this alleyway 1 o'clock a.m. at night. Let me not judge that. I'm just gonna walk straight to it, give it a hug. No, it's not what that. No, no, don't do that. All right, run. But people will do that with people. All right, people will peep the energy on a person, and if they're unaware, it's like they just keep walking towards it. You have to be aware of the type of energy on a person you're dealing with. Think back to all the people who are kind of shady, or if you know anybody shady, think about this person. How does this person usually move? What's the facial expression on this person? How is this person's energy when you're around them? All right. A lot of people will have a dark kind of, shifty, shady, and I'm not judging people at this point, but what I am doing is like I'm not trying to come in nobody's character or nothing. We all know that. But this saves people because people are able to put two and two together and be able to look at a person's energy instead of the type of person that they're trying to portray themselves to be. People will try to act like they're a saint. People will try to act like they're a saint, like a lot of people who will put on a suit. And just because they have on a suit, everybody's supposed to think that this person is the next closest thing to Christ just because they have on a suit. Oh, this person's coming to save us. This person's coming with all the ideas and plans and solutions, and we're going to be okay. Like, you're not supposed to put your faith and trust in man in the first place. And people will get caught up over putting their trust in someone. People will get caught up over what they hear about a person. Oh, so and so's all right. They wouldn't do that, or this, that, and the other. What type of energy is this person giving off? Because that's not going to lie. And if other people can't read energy of others, then that shouldn't put you at fault. That shouldn't make you disbelieve what God is showing you. All right. And through your intuition and through your discernment, God speaks. All right, don't be afraid to put in the comment section, God speaks through my discernment. God speaks through my intuition, because he does. So when you're now aware of something that everybody else may not see, you may be a seer. You may be able to see certain things spiritually, energetically, on how a person's moving than other people may see. All right, you may see something different. They may see a cute, cuddly bunny rabbit, or they may see a cute, cuddly sheep. You see the wolf underneath the sheep's wool. Everybody else sees a sheep just hopping around, eating some grass. You see, you see the fangs. You see the spit dripping out the mouth. All right, you see the blood on the fur. You see all that, and you're like, I don't think we should continue to keep dealing with this person, or I don't think this person may be I don't think this is the right person. I'm not too sure about this one. And people think you're paranoid. Oh, you're paranoid. So and so's not that bad. So and so's not a good person. Sometimes people are blinded by what opportunities they could get. Sometimes people are so caught up on what they think a person can do, or they're so caught up on just having someone around because of what they represent, or they're cool, or the way a person, like their appearances physically, how they look, how they dress. Maybe this person's even the life of the party. They say that like narcissistic people are good charmers. All right, so instead of being charmed, and that's a spell, that is a spell. All right. People who charm people, it's like they will put a person underneath their spell. They look at you in the eyes, they smile, and honestly, I believe that they're projecting their words, what they want you to think, into you. All right, people can do that. People can project what they want a person to think into them. It's like they glare at you, they gaze at you, they stare at you in the eyes, they smile at you, and then they start projecting things into your mind. And I believe that these entities, whether they're aware of it or not, they use certain dark forces and certain dark powers and certain dark magic that they have access to. And it's like I'm not sure how they take it or how they look at it, because, like, I'm not sure if they look at it from a spell view or a spiritual view, or like maybe they just see it as like some superpower out of a movie that they have access to, or something that they're just smarter than everybody and they just do it. But whatever they think of it, it doesn't matter. Because that something like that would be black magic or dark magic. And I don't mean to laugh, but it's just that, like, it's like who does stuff like that, and that's how they're choosing to be. So you just have to be able to read the energy on the person and make sure that that's not happening to you. Some people will get, some people will get lost in the line of fire. We all know that. All right, if you've heard any war stories, seen any movies, people will get lost in the line of fire, and people will get lost by the charm. People will get lost by the appearance. All right, the way a person's hair looks, they do a little hair flip, or, shake a little tail feather, shake a little hair or something, like, do a little something like that, or whatever they got going on. They might smile at you. They might, point them, whatever, them unique eyes at you, or, no offense to anybody with nice hair, unique eyes, or a nice smile. I'm not saying you have to get nobody, but, they're like people who charm people, use what they got to put people under the spell of their charm. And I believe we need to I believe we need to do some videos on that as well. All right. So one thing I really want everybody to realize is that, all right, when you're reading a person's energy and it comes off as bad, and your intuition is telling you whatever it's telling you about this person, trust it. All right, one thing I want to drive on home is to trust it. Don't second guess yourself when it comes to your discernment and your intuition. Even if you are wrong, it's better to be wrong than to think something's all right and then have something bad happen. If you make a mistake and misjudge a good person, then what can you lose from that? Just, make sure you keep it to yourself. Don't, make a big deal out of it. And, what I'm saying, like, don't go like, this person's that way, that person's this way. We don't need to be doing that anyway, because that's gossiping. So if something is a certain way, it's best to see how it is when you're away from this person, and just to see whatever you were involved in, or however you were set up to have to deal with this person, is best to see how others are affected by their energy. And, not to use them as test subjects or anything, but they're the one that is dealing with them that way anyway. So it's best for you to read this person's energy and to trust what you see. It's best for you to trust what you see when you read this person's energy, because other people may be looking at other things and you may be looking at something else. And what you see is most likely more likely to be true. Because if you are like the spiritual one out of your group, and no one else is able to pick up or tell or see spiritual things, or not to come at your group or your peers or anything, but if the people you're with are spiritually dead, then you might just you might be like you might play a very important part in that group. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying you're better than anyone, because we know that we're not. But if you are able to see things spiritually, then, and everybody else around you, it's like, what is he talking about? Or I don't know, or so and so's crazy. They might be spiritually dead. They might be asleep. You might be the only woke one in your group. And you might have to use your powers for good for the people that are around you, because if they can't see they're walking into a trap, you know, and you can see they're walking into a trap, all you could do is do your best. But most people won't. There will be, like I said, there will be some who get caught in the line of fire that don't believe what you're trying to tell them and what you're trying to warn them about, and what they're going to do is ignore it. they're not going to take what you're saying as serious. They're going to be like, yo, so and so is okay. There ain't nothing wrong with so and so. He ain't hurt nobody. They may not be the person that he wanted to hurt, but eventually you hang around a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Eventually, if you hang around, if you keep putting your hand on the stove, you're going to get burnt. You keep dealing with people whose energy is off and who are into, certain dark arts by what you see from them and what you witness from them, not just judging them, but what you actually expect. Like, yo, this person is on some stuff. Don't nobody else see it, but I see it. All right, you're able to tell that this person is into that type of work, witchcraft, spell casting, and people will have spells casted on them and won't know. You'll be in someone's presence, they're smiling in your face, and then all the while they're casting spells on you. All right, so again, if you're around someone and when you get done being around them, your energy's off, you feel drained, you feel tired, you might even feel agitated or angry or upset. All right, or you might feel a sign of relief because your anxiety might have been up and you may not have even noticed it. A lot of people who do dark magic on people make your anxiety go up. You'll be anxious around this person and you may not even be aware of it. So look out for your anxiety around certain people as well, not just because you're nervous, but because what a person is doing or their energy or their behavior or their looks are causing you to pick up on that kind of vibe. So you have to make sure that you use your intuition wisely, you use your discernment wisely. All right, you know when you see something, you know when you see a spirit on a person, and it's that's why it's spiritual, because it's a spirit that's on this person that's causing them to behave this way. And basically it's like when in the Ghostbusters movie or in the movie They Live. There we go. It's like the movie They Live. You put the glasses on, you can see it. And yo, in the movie They Live, the dude fought him. They fought it out tooth and nail for him to see. And eventually, bro saw it for himself. Now, I don't know if they have a sequel to that movie, but they needed to. Like, maybe they were going to do a sequel, but they couldn't because it got too real and it was going to expose too much. But that movie They Live, the whole entire time, the dude was seeing that there were entities, and he was seeing that there were people that were inhabiting others. There was a difference between humans and there was a difference between the reptoids, the reptiloids, or the reptiles, or whatever you want to call them, snake people, lizard people, whatever, whatever you want to call them. You go on ahead, all right? But there are spirits on people that cause them to behave a certain way because you're spiritually good and they're spiritually wicked. And like, how they say the devil uses those closest to you, like he can't get to you himself, so he's going to use those around you. The devil uses these jinn like spirits to body hop, all right, into people who are on a low frequency, who are an empty vessel, to be controlled to come after and attack you because you bring light into this world and because you believe that you have a mission here to complete for God, and you're probably working at it adamantly, and it's pissing the devil off. And that's why a lot of spiritual attacks happen, because you're offsetting this dark energy on this planet, because the world is backwards and the world was given to the hands of the wicked. So a lot of things are topsy-turvy, a lot of things are backwards, a lot of things are upside down, inside out. And what you represent and what you bring and your message and your art, your music, your clothes, everything about you is ushering in a different frequency, a different energy, one of the most high, one of peace, one of love, one of positivity, one of harmony. All right, one of divine order. And that's the thing about us, and this is why I keep saying you're not human, you're divine. I'm not saying you're not I'm not saying you shouldn't have to be humble, but one thing about being, it's some, I'm gonna make another video about that too. It's some when you say you're human, you they put that word out there. It's certain word, and this is why words are spells. They put certain words out there to trick people, to get them to say it, to put curses over themselves. And you call yourself divine, it connects you to God, and you have a link between you and God. It's like, imagine trying to charge your phone, but your phone is laying next to your charger, but it's unplugged. Is your phone going to charge? No. If you say you're one thing, there's lesser of a connection, or no connection at all. You call yourself divine, you are supremely, divinely connected. And there's a divine order that we are all under, which puts things in order in our lives. So if you put yourself under that divine order, you're more than likely to have divine order in your life, which will, give you a stronger connection to the Most High, which will allow you to have more of a spiritual sense about yourself. You'll be able to see things more than others. You draw nigh to God, he'll draw nigh to you. You get close to God, he'll get close to you. Reveal things to you, show things to you, put you on another level mentally, spiritually, physically. So that way you'll be able to pick up on these things that other people won't. And you'll see it and they won't. And they will think that it's something up with you, but you'll also think it's something up with them because they're not connected. Better yet, it's like trying to send a message to someone with no Wi-Fi connection or no cellular data, or someone that didn't pay their phone bill. You paid your phone bill, you're trying to send a message like, hey, don't deal with so and so, and they just look at it and they can't get the message. They can't even see, because they don't have that spiritual sense about themselves. Their spiritual eye is shut down, it's closed. They haven't tried to open it up. And your cup runneth over. Your third eye is open. Your mind's eye is activated. That's why you're able to read people's energy like you do and be able to see things on people that other people can't. It's like, yo, why is this person dealing with this person? People will deal with people and just let them do them all type of bad. And it's like, yo, why is this person continuing to deal with them? They don't see it. Not everybody can see it. Some people are gifted. They don't call it spiritual gifts for no reason. What you have is a spiritual gift. So they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but you know how to read the energy on a person when you see it. You know who's decent and you know who's demonic. You could tell who's demonic. Sometimes you'll walk into a room and a person's energy will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. I went to the store one time and yo, this dude's energy was so bad. And it's like he like, I think that was a test from God, man. His and it had to be something living in this dude, because his energy was so off and he knew it. And the entity was just speaking through this person, and he was just talking bad about himself. He was like saying he ain't this, and he know he's going to hell and all this other stuff. And I was just like, yo, why when I walk in, you know what I'm saying? Like, this conversation could have happened a half hour ago. This could have happened yesterday. This could have happened after I got there. But why, when I walk in there on the frequency that I'm on and do my best to stay on, because I'm only a divine being, I'm only trying to sharpen my connection, making sure my Wi-Fi is right with the Most High. But when you get into the presence of certain people, that their energy is going to be so off that the energy in the room it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel like, yo, I should get out of here, and that's what I felt. I walked into that store, I saw that guy standing there, I heard him say all that stuff, and I just felt that, like, I wanted to get away from there so bad. I wanted to leave that place so bad, because it threw something with it, threw me off. And it felt like I was just out of balance, out of sync. If you felt like I got hit with like some type of magna ray or plat, it felt like I got hit with something. That's all I can say. It felt like somebody done hit your boy with something. But and I ain't never felt nothing like that before. So it's certain people that carry certain energy. But when I walked in there and when I saw this dude even get out of his car, I could just tell. It's like, yo, you could look at a person, but you don't actually see the for me, in my own personal experience, I didn't actually see like the entity, but it's like you could just, it's something that you could see on the individual, like this person's bad news. And I wasn't judging the person, but it's just something that I felt. And it's like, it was like a cloud, you know what I'm saying? It's like a cloud over a person. Anybody let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced this. But it was just like a cloud of energy over this person that you could just kind of, it's like it's invisible, but it's like you can see it at the same time. It's like you could pick up on it at the same time. It's weird. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Maybe somebody could further fill me in, but it was like something you can't see but can see at the same time. And I just knew that, I'm like, yo, homeboy ain't no good. You wouldn't be able to get me to stand near him in a room for $1 million, you know. And anybody with energy like that, forget it. Me anyway. But continue to read people, continue to, you know, use discernment and intuition, which would be a righteous judgment for you. Or ask God to continue to sharpen these things and instill these things in you and to better them for you. So that way you can use them to protect you and possibly some other people. All right. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the GCVs, the Galactic Family, and Drew Nation. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, love, and light. We out.